Isla Windrider arrived when the tide was whisper quiet on 13 March 1999, inside a stilt cottage painted cerulean and peppered with seashell mosaics above the turquoise shallows of Aruba's Baby Beach. Outside, a flamingo sliced the dawn with a lazy fan of coral wings, while her mother, a globe-trotting Latin soul trumpeter who tucks dried hibiscus petals into her valve rag, floated a low riff that made cracked enamel cups tingle against pegboard hooks. Her father, a loud house battery caretaker who sketches cloud parakeets on empty propane receipts, leaned so near their freckles almost fused and vowed aloud that peer gossip, hallway snickers, and shop racks stopping at 14 would always bow for anyone ready to inhabit her outline all the way to its brilliant perimeter. Hers had danced through Windrider lifts since an ancestor rewove cargo net into sugar carnival gowns, so nobody fretted when baby Isla split her second cotton swaddle before the tea kettle whistled. Granny Solana simply threaded kite string through every rip, patched gaps with carnival flag triangles, and laughed that 20 cents of fabric is cheaper than trimming a horizon. Garden corridors tasted of pencil shavings, passion fruit cobbler fogging from the canteen hatch, and briny wind squeezing under dented louvers. Isla already rose half a head above her desk mates, blotting projector glow when she traced hawksbill turtle nurseries on the pulled-down atlas. One sticky recess, two classmates hop-skipped rings, chanting "cargo barge," each time her neon sandals kissed chalk paint. That evening, she strolled the tide line, pocketed soda caps, polished opal by surf, threaded them on fishing leader, stitched the jingling spine down her teal hoodie, and sauntered into homeroom, scattering prism freckles across smudged ceiling tiles. A visiting reading aide snapped 9 shaky seconds on a prepaid phone, posted the shimmer to an infant video corner, and by lunchtime, 15,000 strangers applauded the child who welded teasing into lighthouse flair. Iceless growth, one violent promise between subtraction drills, clouds crowd only until you flash them bright. Sundays belonged to the pier where her mother's trumpet curls swirled with diesel coughs from dive boats, skillet pops from pastechi stalls, and gulls bargaining for sardine snacks. Store jeans jammed at Isla's thighs, so she swapped tip jar florins for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high-rise skirt, misted it with squidding flamingo silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against iron bollards while her cousin captured grainy frames. Each image sailed into an online journal named Lantern Drift, the week a glossy photo app finally rippled across patchy island service. Captions toggled between dock slang and simple truths like, "Curves anchor gusts steadier than break walls." 2 months before 16 candles, 58,000 unseen hearts tapped tiny hearts beneath every mango frame. Proof glowing rectangles hush. Cafeteria razors quicker than any whistle from the gym coach. A coral science scholarship whisked her north to Florida Atlantic University. Daylight dissolved in wave flume labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour churro van glowing neon guava below coconut palms. The heat lamp morphed into ring light. Between cinnamon orders, Isla filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into sea rose barrettes while decoding dart rotation in half lecture zip, half shoreline lull, one up-leather bottlenose shirts beneath lo-fi shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective anchor braid into thrift denim, and 47 hours later the counter hopped past 1.3 million. Caribbean-style blogs crowned her the churro couturier, yet every sponsor deck froze at size 16. She slid each pitch into a folder titled Shrinking Nets, brushed sugar dust from her cuff, and delivered the next pastry with dawn in her grin. Hurricane Prep Week delivered an email stamped Columbia Sportswear. They invited her to co-design a spray shell capsule called Trade Wind Pulse. Isla sent 3 peer firm terms, patterns up to 60-inch hips, half the crew hired from community college, fashion cohorts, 10% of net profit pledged to seagrass restoration from Oranjestad to Out Islands. Columbia signed before sunrise, tinted lab beakers coral. The shoe unfurled on a tide-swept sandbar where Sanderland chicks dotted commas along wet courts. She guided paddleboarders of every outline across glass water while a drone carved lazy infinity loops overhead. When the lookbook surfaced, every extended size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 33 nations. Lantern Drift vaulted beyond 700,000 lantern icons. If that launch already sparks inside your ribs, give the subscribe button a single tap and shift it from red to soft gray. One feather-light click keeps next week's voyage floating into your feed long before algorithm currents shuffle it away. After tapping, slide down to the description and find the discreet Love Compass link, the same roadmap thousands trust when they crave a surefire path to heartfelt connection. Spotlight shimmer lured rumor goals. A clickbait vlog claimed Isla strapped rigid plates beneath trade wind shells. Dawn met her paddling a driftwood board beyond. Eelgrass braids, bare feet planted in linen shorts and sports bra, tracing every silver stretched stripe with crushed bougainville powder, while her mother's trumpet launched a sunrise riff so raw, pelicans hovered mid-air. 10 million viewers reposted the proof, rushing fuchsia paw and across their own curves until gossip sank beneath slack tide. Sure wages intertwined with capsule royalties and whipped into Windrider velvet, a cloud soft butter folding, spruce tip custard, lime blossom oil, and mica sparks that glow seashell white under phone flash. 19,010s cooled on her father's chart bench. Lids tied with braided crab trap rope, each label stamped "Moisturize Your Horizon." Stock drained in 83 minutes, lifting $198,000, 20% seeded Beacon grants supplying industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from San Andreas to St. Croix. 8 months later, 37 Beacon teams streamed a floating fashion and dolphin harmony gala aboard a repurposed tug strung with solar lanterns, dawn color spilling into classrooms from Kingston to Nassau Harbor Fashion Night minted fresh Juddy legend when a backstage vent shredded her sapphire mesh gown from hip to knee, 80 heartbeats before runway. Isla ripped neon dock robe off a light brace, laced the split like boot hooks, and walked the boards as though the splice glowed in every sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn, Vogue Tropic crowned the rescue rope cadence, and another million lantern sparks ignited before brass horns sounded their first note. Trouble returned when a former A-Lick clipped mails, hinting she demanded conch, tower platters, and chauffeur catamarans for her rescue flamingo Lumia. Eli posted the chain uncut refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption monitors for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate Tide, $137,000, funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Turks Islands. Fans echoed her pair mantra, receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers flatten like tide pool glass. Family guides her compass, twice each month she streams Porchline Groove. Mom braids soulful chords beside a propane griddle. Dad recites cloud haiku. Isla flips thrift denim while Lumia tiptoes powdered sugar spirals across a cardboard raft. One broadcast peaked at 9 million when the bird sneezed glitter on the lens. A seabird refuge now sponsors every stream, tagging rehabilitated flamingos with solar beacons financed by Windrider Velvet. Supreme revenue cruised beyond 12 million ahead of second solstice. Isla leased a dormant oyster shed, punched skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custard in knot lids by hand during midday funk sessions. Auditors pushed shrink bands. She repeated Granny Solana's creed, fingers guard ledges longer than plastic cuffs, and rope ties remained. Her feed holds honest sky. Coral Reef portraits share grid space with churro cart selfies captioned "Same sky, different tide." She posts breath loops recorded in underwater caves, printable resilience sheets in English and Papiamentu, therapy voucher codes tucked 3 swipes below. 173,000 readers call her shoreline candor their first calm harbor. Community glow rides glimmer beneath crushed shell dust. Hundreds glide sunset boulevards wearing Windrider velvet on collarbones and LED seagrass tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket funds fatten Beacon grants and float wheelchair snorkel rigs over Crystal Springs. Chowder Shack simmer late, snapper chow balls jump 15% on ride nights. Isla pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with Lumia plush clipped 4, pausing to knot any rider's drifting lace. She is polishing currents keep names for 11 language release next spring, while a film crew tracks her mission to weld retired bow chains into mobile maker labs for Reefside schools. Puma's wide-to-wave lantern sneaker lands next quarter, threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, channeling 10% revenue toward Beacon nurseries hugging the Caribbean rim. Second tide of encouragement arrives quietly. If you press like, but left subscribe, glowing red, soften it to gray now. One fingertip secures the next tide in your notifications before algorithm eddies whisk it off. And remember, the Love Compass link in the description is ready whenever your heart wants a chart to certain romance. Hurricane season relaxes towards slack water. Fresh velvet tints, beacon grand portals, tonight's Porchline playlist, and that confidence compass trusted by thousands rest below this video, free for every soul surveying the horizon. If the soda cap hoodie shimmer, rope lace gown rescue, or Lumia glitter sneeze stirred even half a smile, tap like, launch your brightest ripple in the comments, and share this voyage with anyone whose sails hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows to any heart brave enough to plant steady feet on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes bright. Third and final invitation drifts on the hush between waves. Hit subscribe this heartbeat, claim your rail, open that love compass in the description, and meet me on the next rising tide. When a fresh story flickers just beyond the breakers, and courage whispers your name once more.